Hey guys, Shady here. So today I want to do another top 5 must-have list for your collection, and I'm going to be choosing Xbox 360 this time around. It's a system that I'm kind of going really hard on with collecting right now, so I've got some good ones here. Before we start though, I'm going to kind of explain a little bit what I mean by the 5 must-have games. So obviously, if you're starting collecting for a console, or if you've had the console for a while, these are just 5 games I think that you need to add to your collection. A lot of these that I like to choose from different genres pretty much, and maybe not quite the obvious games, maybe hidden gems you can call them, who knows. But let's get started now. The first game is actually going to be a fighting game. We're going to be talking about Soulcalibur IV, if you remember this game. So obviously the Soulcalibur series is like a weapon-based fighting game. Best way to describe it is, imagine if Dead or Alive and like Samurai Showdown kind of fused together. Even though I think technically the first Soul Blade game did come out before Dead or Alive, but you kind of get what I mean here. So you have weapons, 3D based, you can move around the map. Loads of really cool characters. This one in particular though, as you can see here, has Yoda. So one thing they always used to do with these Soulcalibur games is you'd have like guest characters per platform. So for example, Soulcalibur 2, there was PlayStation had Hachi, Xbox had Spawn, GameCube had Link, which is awesome. That's why that's the version everyone loves. But this one, for the 360 version, you had Yoda, and for the PS3 version, you had Darth Vader, which is kind of cool. And you can actually get the other character. So on disc you have Yoda, but you can purchase Darth Vader as well, so you don't have to miss out if you get either version. And obviously this is available on PS3, like I just said. Yeah, this is really fun. There is also Soulcalibur 5, but I didn't quite like that one because it changed a few things. It added like a special meter and tried to be more Street Fighter-ish, whereas this one is just like a lot of fun. Similar to Dead or Alive, it's more of a... it's not like the most expert game, but it's just a lot of fun. Very stylish, loads of cool characters, some good modes. You've got arcade versus, I think this is the story. There's like a tower mode where you can fight like enhanced versions of the regular enemies and stuff. And also there is also another character you can unlock. I can't remember his name, something Starkiller, the dude from the Force Awakens games, because this came out I think around the same time as the Force Awakens, the first one came out. So yeah, it's a really cool game. Definitely add it to your collection. As you can see, I have like this really cool steelbook version, which is awesome. It's meant to have a second disc. I'm not sure what the disc is, and it didn't come with it, but it was quite cheap as well. So this one is not going to set you back much. Definitely add it to your collection. The next one is going to be a bit of a weird one because this is a technically a Kinect game, and you're probably thinking, what? Kinect? Come on, you crazy? But no, actually, this one, Child of Eden. This is actually a game that's enhanced with Kinect. So it says better with Kinect on the top there. That basically means that you can play with a regular controller, but you have the option to play Kinect. So standard Kinect games will be purple, like Michael Jackson Experience here. That means you have to have Kinect with it. Whereas this one, obviously, that just means you can play without. So you have the option. So if you have Kinect, it's quite cool, but if not, it's not that bad. So as you can see on the back there, so this is actually like a rail shooter basically. Has really awesome music. It's done by the same dude who did Res and Luminum, if you played either one of those games. Really cool games. And he also later, one of his latest games was the Tetris Effect, which is awesome. So a lot really colourful, awesome music, just a real great experience. This is also available for PS3 as well. So that one used a Move controller, and this one uses a Kinect. You'll have fun either way if you use a standard controller Kinect. Kinect is cool because you can kind of wave your hands around and, it adds an extra dimension or whatever, but with the standard controller it's fine. I think for more expert play, you're going to probably want the controller anyway, because you have more actual control with the controller, believe it or not. That's why, they dumped Kinect in the end. But yeah, another great game. And moving on, next I'm actually going to be talking about shmup. See, the 360 actually had like tons of shmups, because Microsoft are really pushing hard for the Japanese market with this console. and there's tons of ones by Cave. You got obvious ones like Death Smiles 1 and 2, Dodo Punchy, Rumpo, whatever it's called, Dodon Pachi, and also there was the Raiden 4. That didn't come out in the PAL territories though. But there's another one, a unique one. This one's unique because it only came to 360, and that is Akai Katana. So looking at this, you're probably thinking, is this like a JRPG? But no, it's actually a shmup. I'll show you the back. This is actually like a bullet hell style shmup. Why this one is cool though is because you have like these, they're like World War II style fighting ships that you use. It's this kind of great mix of like World War II era ships and then like Japanese samurai anime stuff. Very, very difficult though. There is a novice mode for people who want the best at shmups. I mean, I'm not too great with shmups, but I still enjoy the hell out of this game. You're going to be dodging like crazy. Definitely, like, if you're into these games, you're going to want this one. This one is a little bit more on the pricey side though, like with a lot of these shmups. That's the thing with the 360. For the most part, the games are pretty cheap, but the ones like this are going to set you back a little bit more. I want to say I got this one for maybe 35, so a little bit on the better side. Obviously this one was released in PAL territory as well. Some of them are also, talking about shmups in general, a lot of them are, you get some that are region free as well, so look out for that too. One's released exclusively in Japan as well. You got ones that couple only in North America as well, I think, in Japan, and then I think a couple which were just in the PAL territory as well. But yeah, great game. Absolutely have to add this to your collection. One of the best games on 360. Anyway, moving on. Next, gonna have to talk about a JRPG, obviously. There's so many great ones. Again, because like I was saying, Microsoft wanted to really push hard with JRPGs and Japanese games in general. There was tons on there. To give some examples, like this still blows my mind. Star Ocean 4, for example, was like launched exclusively on the Xbox 360. The port didn't come till like a year or so later on PS3, which is crazy when you think about it. There was also the obvious, like, you know, Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, which were done by Mistwalker, you know, Hinoru Sakaguchi and Imatsu, two of the greats. It helped make the Final Fantasy series what it is. Those are great games. But I actually want to talk about one that I think is a little bit forgotten, but really interesting, and that's Resonance of Fate. See, this game is really cool because it's actually done, as you can see, it's a Sega published game, but it's also done by Tri-Ace. I don't think it says right there. You can kind of see just on the bottom there, a Tri-Ace game. As you know, Tri-Ace done both the Star Ocean games and the Valkyrie Profile games. So similar to those, this game has like a real-time combat system. So basically, this era was very experimental with Japanese RPGs. They kind of moved away from turn-based stuff and started doing more cool, interesting turn-based games, real-time games, sorry. And this is one with the most unique of the battle systems. So first, to give a breakdown of the story, you play as Zephyr, Lena, and what is the other guy's name? Vacheron. You're basically three mercenaries. This is it's set in our world, but in the future where like pollution has just flooded the earth and no one can survive there. So they built this tower called Basil Tower. We're like at the bottom. Obviously the people with more money and blah 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 at the top. So you got that whole class sort of stuff that you get with a lot of these types of games and whatnot. So we're mercenaries doing odd jobs, climbing our way up the tower. You know, and the story sort of goes on from there. Very almost feels very anime. You've got like chapter based and all that. Really fun. The battle system though, to get into it, what makes this one unique, as you can see there, dude's holding a gun, and yeah, that's what makes this so cool. I think, if I remember correctly, they wanted to appeal to more of a Japanese audience. No, sorry, they wanted to appeal to the Western audience, so they decided to give these dudes guns. And how the system works is you kind of, it's like a real-time system where you can kind of move around the map. I think it's actually called like the tri-attack system is what the battle system is actually called. You have certain weapons that do scratch damage and some that do just standard damage, and you kind of have to master the art of movement and like doing the scratch damage and whatnot. Very deep combat system. It's going to take you a bit of time to like get used to it, but it's definitely worth it when you do. Definitely give it a try. This was also on PS3 as well. There's also a remaster for PS4 / Steam, but it didn't come to Xbox One. So if you want it on Xbox, this is the other way to get it. Also, that version, there was no physical version, so you're gonna want this or the PS3 version for an actual physical version. There really isn't too much different. I think the resolution is just a bit higher. It says 4K. I don't even know if the PS4 one is 4K. Steam one definitely is though. But I mean, it's still 720p, so it still looks decent. But yeah, definitely worth your time. Awesome game. The last one is actually going to be one of the more kind of obvious ones, and I'm going to get into why I chose this game in particular. So, Ninja Gaiden 2. So during this time with the 360, Microsoft actually had some quite a close relationship with Team Ninja. So obviously the first Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive 3 were exclusive for the original Xbox. They did finally release a Sigma version of the first Ninja Gaiden eventually, and also Dead or Alive 4 was exclusive for 360, and that's still to this day only on the 360. And then this was the final game of that partnership that got released exclusively, Ninja Gaiden 2. If you don't know, Ninja Gaiden's basically a hack and slash action game, similar to Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, but different as well, because those games are very much combo heavy, and you string along long combos, you're dodging. It's all about looking stylish and cool while you're doing everything. You have to be really aggressive and stuff like that. Whereas this game, it's more like you have a smaller moveset, but you have to master it. The enemies are brutally difficult. This is probably the hardest game I think I've played, but I still love it. It's one of those games you're gonna just want to play again and again, really. The reason I picked this particular version over the Sigma version, so basically, I want to say a couple of years down the line, they did the Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 for PS3, but because there was actually some big differences between the hardware of the PS3 and the 360, this game really utilizes it very well. So they had to reduce the enemy count, and they removed all the gore, and it just kind of ruins the game experience. It's still a playable version, it's still okay, but the problem is it's not as good as this one, because in this one you have tons of enemies constantly on you. There's dismemberment, gore, everything. The whole point, I feel like they designed this game around people, or for people who had mastered the original game in a way, because the enemy count and everything is so different. It really feels like a different game, even though the combat is the same near enough. The way you encounter the enemies feels very different. You're basically just mobbed at all times. You're constantly under pressure, and that sort of is taken away from the Sigma version. And also subsequent ports, because they've ported this game now, obviously to PS3, to Vita, and then there's the Master Collection for 360, Switch, PS4 and Steam, and that uses the Sigma version. So unfortunately, this is the only way to play this version. I've heard that the source code is lost. I don't know if that's true or not, but as of now, this 360 version is the only way to play it. Also, another great thing about this, it is also backwards compatible, because one of the issues for this game is later on, there's one particular moment, the stairs, which just chugs the frame rate. You get so many enemies coming at you, and it just slows down. It's like playing a Matrix bullet time version of the game or something. But if you play this on a newer Xbox, the Series X, S, or the Xbox One line, it fixes that. So if that's an issue for you, that's why to sort that out. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of the list. I think this one is all 5 of the games are absolutely worth adding to the collection. Hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be more to come soon. If you found this, then like and subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.